All right, I want you to raise your hand. I don't know why I'm doing this. I want you to raise your hand if you are a giant Pokemon alternate art fan. I have no idea why I told you to raise your hand, but alternate arts are absolutely amazing. It's no secret that I love alternate arts. A lot of times, our streams that we do on Wednesdays where we rip stuff open, we give stuff away dependent on how many alternate arts we pull. I'm a huge fan of how just Pokemon artwork has evolved throughout the years. It's absolutely amazing. The introduction of alternate arts at the latter half of Sun and Moon was fantastic, and then just got even better as we transitioned into Sword and Shield with battle styles, and then moving on, obviously, Evolving Skies. But really, every single set during Sword and Shield after battle styles where alternate arts were introduced, I loved them. I loved the artwork, I loved the different Pokemon, I love the stories that they tell. And now as Pokemon continues to transition in their artwork with the introduction of those trainer gallery cards, followed by Galarian gallery cards, now we have illustration rares and special illustration rares. It's just knocking it out of the park. I saw the leak for the Pokemon 151 Tangela this morning, and I was like, holy buckets, this thing is amazing. This thing is so cute looking, and everything that Pokemon has done is just so cool. We're going to talk about alternate arts today, but we're going to talk about alternate arts that have fallen like crazy. If you remember, about 6 months ago, all the alternate arts, pretty much every single one, started blowing up in price. And we started recording a couple videos saying, hey, is this justifiable? Is this really happening to all of these alternate arts, or what's going on? There's a few different theories that you can kind of come up with. So I am curious as to know what you think down in the comment section below. If it's something where people are just kind of transitioning out of the Sword and Shield era, so they're moving into Scarlet and Violet, focusing on Galarian gallery cards from Crown Zenith, and then now the special illustration rares and the illustration rares from Scarlet and Violet. That seems to be the less likely situation. The other scenario could be that maybe these were manipulated in some way. Maybe people had FOMO. Maybe people were like, hey, I gotta buy this card before it skyrockets, and we've got a Latios and Latios alternate art on my hands, or we've got a Giratina V on my hands, and a lot of content creators were talking about it, and everything was just blowing up like crazy. So a lot of different theories, but we're going to talk about what's happened now after the last 6 months, looking at some of these alternate arts that have dropped 20, 30, 40% in some cases, and a couple that are really surprising. The one way at the end, stick around to the end because that one is really surprising. But if you like the content, hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment. Those things go really far for the algorithm, kind of just sharing the channel out there. So thank you so much, but really just thank you for taking the time to watch and comment and hang out. We're going to start out with this Suey Lilligit right here, which is absolutely beautiful. This is from Astral Radiance, looking at the past 6 months of data, and you can see right at the beginning of the data that we're looking at here, October, November, December, really starting to rise up in price. Really cool looking card. Never saw a whole lot of competitive play, at least not yet. We'll see what happens in the future. But a lot of people like this card, and now it's dirt cheap. Look at how far it has fallen. It hit in February of 2023 a 6-month high of $21.92. May not seem like a whole lot that it's dropped because you're only looking at about $6. That's almost 30% that it's dropped over the past couple months. You can see it hitting a 6-month low at the beginning of April 2023. So about a month ago, it hit $15.17. It's kind of where it's sitting at now. It actually got a little bit lower than that, closer to that $14 mark in April, but sitting at $15.17. Over $6 of a drop, over 30%. It's a cute looking card. You've got Spheo over there, you've got Starly over there. Really cool looking card with this Hisuian Lilligant. The Galarian Slowking, a lot of Chilling Rain cards, kind of backing off a little bit after that overhype. You can see the Galarian Slowking V. This one shot up. You can see at the beginning of November, keep moving up like what we saw with the other alternate arts. Hit $41.72. That was a 6-month high, really an all-time high for this card. And then in February into March, started crashing down quite a bit. It hit a 6-month low of $33.92. So that's over 20% that it dropped right there. It's come back a little bit, but still sitting at $35.06. Still looking at about 15 to 20% lower than where it was a couple months ago, and definitely trending in the downward direction. I don't think we're done with the drops in some of these. These are just the alternate art V cards that we're looking at, and this isn't even all of them. There's going to be other ones in VMAX cards that have really taken a dive. Next, we're going to look at the Origin form Dialga V. This one is also from Astral Radiance. Really cool looking card, kind of hanging out in the sunset there, flying down. Dialga V never got a whole lot of competitive play. Started out okay, but we talked yesterday during our stream about the Dialga V Star really starting to shoot up in price, and it's backed off a little bit, but still way higher than the $2 that it was at. The Origin form Dialga V alternate art really starting to come back down to earth, and it's been steadily declining. It leveled off for quite a while. You can see November, December, even January, really level, hovering right around that 6-month high mark of $55.14. And then as the year turned over, February hit, and it just started to really nosedive. You can see fell all the way down to $36.72, almost a 40% drop that we saw just over the span of a couple months. Now it's gained a little bit of that back, sitting at $42.67, but still definitely heading in the opposite direction. Next, we're going to look at the Shadow Rider Calyrex V, this one from Battle Styles right here. You can see October, November really starting to climb up a little bit, right? Hit that 6-month high, that 1-year high. At the time of $33.22. But unlike some of those VMAXs and that Giratina V that continued to climb, this one really started nosediving really quickly. Started losing a lot of steam. You can see in December, January, February, all the way up into March, it just started deeply diving, hitting a 6-month low of $25.94. So you're looking at about 40% almost of a drop over that span of a few months. Now it's leveled off a little bit, sitting at $27.22, but still definitely heading in the downward direction. Golurk V, this is kind of a cool card. We talked about that Tangela before, that's coming out in Pokemon 151. Kind of similar artwork, same illustrator, obviously, who did the Charizard V, the Sleeping Charizard V from the Charizard UPC, Golurk V, and now Tangela V. Really cool storyline that you can kind of follow through. You can see in November, December starting to climb a little bit, like what we saw with those other alternate arts. Hit $23.37, and now it's dropped about 30% ever since then. Since January, it started going downhill. February and then March really kind of ran off the cliff. In April, it hit a 6-month low of $14.65. It's rebounded a little bit, sitting at $16.04, but still way lower currently than what it was 4 or 5 months ago. The Beedrill V from Astro Ratings. This one is so cool. I love this card. Unfortunately, not doing too well in the market currently. In November, it started rising a little bit. You can see in November of 2022, it did hit that 6-month high of $35.07. Like a lot of the other alternate arts, it leveled off there for the next couple months, stayed right around that same point. We thought maybe alternate arts would go up even further, but they didn't. And now this Beedrill V really heading in the opposite direction. A big drop in February, an even bigger drop in March, and now it's hovering right around a 1-year low, a 6-month low, an all-time low at $27.19, just barely above where it was a couple weeks ago when it was at $27.04. But again, you're looking at 30% of a drop over the past couple months. Unfortunately, the Empoleon V also not doing too great, and the Empoleon V is absolutely beautiful, hanging out there with the Mindfu and the Phalanx. Really cool artwork. I really love this card, but it's unfortunately not doing too well. I guess that's okay because it's a little bit more affordable to buy. But November, December, January, relatively level, right? Staying right around that 6-month high of $42.76, then hitting a wall. Empoleon did see a little bit of competitive play about 6 months ago or so. That might have been one of the reasons it spiked up a little bit, but most people kind of played the promo card or the regular art V instead. Not a whole lot of people really playing alternate art cards in their deck. Had a big drop in February, leveled off a little bit in March, and then really ran off a cliff. And you can see sitting at a 6-month low currently, $32.91, just continuing to head downward. The Zeraora V, a fan favorite for a lot of people. This one not doing too well, despite doing really well at the back half of 2022. You can see in November, December, really starting to climb. January, even into February, hit a 1-year high, an all-time high, hit $71.92 before really starting a steep decline. You can see in February, March, April, really started going downhill, sitting at $57.01 currently. So that's about a 20% drop that it's experienced over the past few months, just barely above. Right now, it's 6-month low of $57 and a penny. The Greedent V from Fusion Strike. Unfortunately, Fusion Strike, you have some really cool alternate arts like the Espeon VMAX, the Gengar VMAX, and then you have a couple like Greedent V, Sandaconda V, which people aren't as excited about. The Greedent V, a very cool looking card, hanging out there, getting pulled along in the tree. November, December, really starting to gain like what we saw with some of those other ones. $15.15, hit that 6-month high, and then started going downward, nosedived into April, where it hit a 6-month low of $10.32, almost hit that single-digit mark, sitting at $10.71 currently. Might still continue to go down. We might see it into single digits fairly soon. Mew V, a very competitive card. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of fans of this alternate art or of the Mew VMAX alternate art. A lot of people thought, hey, it would be cool if they would have done something a little bit differently. I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. November of 2022, hit a 6-month high of $47.35, but now it's lost about 20% since then. You can see just ups and downs. And Mew V is impacted by competitive play because this is a very, very playable card in decks. Unfortunately, this card not doing too well, just hit a 6-month low of $38.47 and continuing to head in the downward direction. Next up, we've got Lumineon V. This one's from Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars not doing too great as a set. Sealed product doing really well. Singles not doing too well. But you can see relatively consistent at the end of 2022 all the way up until February of 2023, where it hit a 6-month high of $27.92. But then huge declines right after that, dropped extremely hard in March, and then again in April. You can see it hit a 6-month low of $18.68, rebounded a little bit, but still sitting at $19.45. You're still looking at about 30-40% that it's dropped over the last few months. This poor Skunk Tank V right here from Silver Tempest has really done nothing but go down ever since it came out. Same thing with the Regidrago, which we'll look at in a second here. But you can see in November of 2022, not too long after the set came out, sitting at $25.21. That was a 6-month high. It's lost 50% of that over the past 6 months, and really no gains, no peaks, just valleys. That's all we got when it comes to Skunk Tank V. So really heading in the downward direction. And another card you might see single-digit pricing for very soon, sitting at $12.12 just a couple days ago. Now it's sitting at $12.35, but right around a 6-month low of $12.12 and heading in the downward direction. Hisuian Sneasler V, really cool, paying homage to the Legends Arceus video game, where you climb up all the ledges with Sneasler. Really cool looking card, relatively level all the way up until March of 2023. You can see in November, December, January, February, March, right around its 6-month high. It actually did hit its $39.93 6-month high at the beginning of March 2023, and then it just got hammered and dropped 30% over the past month and a half. You can see it hitting $30.26 at the beginning of April. It's sitting at $30.47 currently, so not really rebounding too well. Just might still continue to head in the downward direction. The Unknown V, this is my favorite from Silver Tempest. This one not doing very well, down over 40% over the past 6 months. You can see in November, not too long after Silver Tempest came out, this card was at $52.72 or 17 cents. That was a 6-month high. Steep drop right away in December, leveled off a little bit until February of 2023, and then some other steep drops not too long after that. It hit $28.10 as a 6-month low at the beginning of April. It's gained about $1 of that back, but still sitting at $29.07. Here comes the big one that I think a lot of people are surprised by, because this card saw a lot of gains at the end of 2022, October, November, really following the same pattern as what we saw that Giratina V from Lost Origin following. The difference is Giratina kept climbing. Charizard ran into Venusaur and apparently got destroyed, because look at what's happening with this card. It's down 20%, 25% over the past 6 months, sitting at 152.03 currently, just above its 6-month high of 149.59, which it hit a few weeks ago, but it was at 198.04, almost got all the way up to that $200 mark in November of 2022, and now it is just, my goodness, Charizard V not doing too well. Charizard really not performing the way you would expect Charizard V to perform when it comes to an alternate art, but really going down over the past 6 months, sitting right around its 6-month low right now. Might still head down even further. Here's the one we were talking about before this, Regidrago V. This one's lost over 50% over the past 6 months. I remember when Silver Tempest came out, this card was selling for $80, $90 as an alternate art, and it has not done well really ever since release. In November of 2022, you can see it was at its 6-month high of $52.89. No peaks on this one, just valleys, just heading straight down. At the beginning of April in 2023, it did hit its 6-month low of $23.49, so it's leveled off a little bit, sitting at $24.28 currently, but still not performing nearly as well as some of these other alternate arts, which continue to climb. Do any of these surprise you at all? This is a good sign. This is a good thing for a lot of collectors, being able to get some of these alternate arts, add them to their collection. I know a lot of people are focused on Crown Zenith, Scarlet and Violet, moving on to Paldea Evolved, and really focusing in on the Pokemon 151. Might not be a bad time to start looking back at some of your Sword and Shield sets and say, hey, now's the time that I'm going to pick one of these up. Might go down a little bit further yet. Definitely something to start paying attention to when it comes to some of these cards, but you'll have to let me know in the comments section down below why you think we saw some of those really massive gains on some of these and how they have backed off like crazy over the past 6 months. So I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment. Like I said, it goes a really long way for the algorithm. Most importantly, I just really appreciate you guys hanging out, chatting it up with me, listening to me ramble for 15 minutes. So I'll be back tomorrow going over some fanny pack news. I hope to see you there. Thanks so much for everything, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.